All right. This next video that I'm gonna show you guys is a rule. Okay, it's called the law of sines. Okay. Now it's not the law of sines. Don't get confused. It's not just the whole, sine of theta equals O over H. Okay. This thing uses sines, but it's not just that. Okay. So the law of sines is something a little bit different. I kind of want to explain it using what we use on the last thing with our height. Okay, so let's say we have a height in that triangle right there. And again, I'm going to call it O because really when we divided it into our two right triangles, this was the opposite leg. Okay. Now, this applies when we have two sides and the two opposite angles from those sides. Okay, so when we have two sides and two opposite angles from the side. So if we're looking at this thing here, let's say this side is 7 and this side is 20. Okay, that side has only the 7, this side has only the 20. And let's say this angle here is 72 degrees. And let's say the side facing the 7, actually, I don't want to even put numbers to it right now. I don't even want to put numbers to it. All right, so let's say this is side W, this is side X, right? And I'm going to call that angle Y, I'm going to call that angle Z. All right, I don't even want to put numbers to it right now because I'll mess it up. Okay, now, here's what we know, okay? If we were to just talk in generalities here, we know from in this triangle right here, we know the sine of angle Y is equal to O over W, right? O is the opposite, W is the hypotenuse. Okay. Over here, we know that the sine of Z is equal to O over X, right? O is the opposite leg, X is the hypotenuse. Okay. So if we were to rearrange these equations and move it over, we know O is equal to W times the sine of Y. If we were to do that over here, we know O would be equal to X times the sine of Z. Right? Well, this O is the same in both, right? So if W times sine of Y equals O and X times sine of Z equals O, we could say, okay, W sine Y is equal to X sine Z. Right? Because both of these equal O. So both of those equal O, both of those are going to equal each other. Okay? So W sine Y is equal to X sine Z. Now, if we were to rearrange this, okay, we know from the 3C notes that the Y is the angle that sort of goes with X because it's across from it, and the Z is the angle that sort of goes with W. It's across from it, okay? So I want to put the Y with the X and the Z with the W. So what we'll do is if we divide by sine Y over here, all right, now let's say we also divide each side by sine Z. Okay, so what happens is the sine Z goes away over here, the sine Y goes away over here. So what we end up with is W divided by sine Z is equal to X divided by sine Y. That, my friends, is what the law of sines is. Okay? W over sine Z equals X over sine Y. Okay? So that really is the law of sines. Now I want to sort of put some numbers to this thing here, and so we could find one of our missing sides. Okay? And again, we don't even need to draw that O right there. It's just there to sort of show you how we could come up with this setup right here. And all we did was took this setup and rearrange it and move some stuff around to make it look like this. Okay. So this is the law of sines. Technically, the law of sines is, it's written a little bit differently, but again, this provides a solid, format for you right there. Okay. So let's put some numbers to this. All right. So let's say we don't know this side, and let's say this side's 20, and let's say this angle is 70 degrees, and let's say this angle over here is 30 degrees or something like that. Okay. So we have that. Okay. Well, we know that the 70 goes with the 20 and the 30 goes with the x. Okay. Because again, we have to work this formula with angles that are across from the sides. Okay. So we have to work it in the fraction where we have the side and then the sine of the angle. Okay. So what we're going to have here is like this x, we're going to put that over sine 30. Okay. And that's going to equal to the other side 20 divided by sine 70. Okay. So again, the 20 goes with the 70, the x goes with the 30. And that's the only way we could set it up. Okay. If we don't have it set up with opposite sides going to the angles opposite each other, then we need to rearrange the equation in order to do that. Okay. And so that may be subtracting angles, or that may be some other stuff here. Okay. So what happens is this. We have, we cross multiply this out. We have x sine 70 equals 20 sine 30, right? Cross multiply, it's proportion. Okay. We want to get x by itself, so we divide by sine 70. So x equals 20 sine 30 over sine 70. Okay. And from there, calculator. 20 sine 30 divided by sine 70. We get our missing side, 10.6. Okay, so that is the law of sines. To get you an actual definition, okay, for the law of sines, the actual formula for it, I'm going to draw it up one more time here and sort of make sense of it all to make it a little bit easier here. Okay, that's an example. Now let's just say we have a triangle. I'm going to just put the letters here differently. A, B, C. So those are our three vertices. You notice they're in capital letters, right? So we're going to put the opposite side as the same letter but lowercase. So the opposite side is little a, this opposite side is little b, that opposite side is little c. Okay? So we know side. So if we have side A, and we'll divide that by sine of angle A, is equal to little b divided by sine of angle B. Okay, little b is side, big B is angle. And that's also equal to little c over sine of angle C. Okay. And again, we're never going to do an equation with three different things. Okay. So we could make, this equal to this. We can make A over sine A equal to C over sine C. We can do B over sine B equal to C over sine C. So any combination of those things works. We just got to make sure that on the same fraction, we're working side, angle together. Okay. And so that is that. That's the law of sines, and really, this is the this is sort of the final definition of the law of sines right there. Okay, A over sine A equals B over sine B, which is equal to C over sine C. Okay, and so it's very similar to working that angle stuff that we were looking at earlier, and then we should be good to go after that. Okay, there it is.